In the infamous case of Jeffrey MacDonald, there was a kind of an odd coincidence during his trial. His mother-in-law, who was one of the moving spirits behind the prosecution, and he happened to see each other, happened to be leaving the courtroom at precisely the same time, and they kind of ran into each other. Neither of them spoke. She was asked about it afterwards, and she said she was not tempted to speak to him. There was nothing she could say to him. Okay. This is kind of similar to something that happened at the parole hearing of Manson associate Patricia Krenwinkel at her parole hearing. This is when Patty Tate was still alive, and she was there. Her mother was dead, and so she was there to speak on behalf of the Tate family against parole. Okay, at one point, Patricia Krenwinkel became very emotional, and she became very upset, and she talked about how hard it is to live with this, because she said I feel terrible about it, but there is nothing I can do to change it. No matter what I do, I cannot change 1 minute of my life. And it is a struggle to every single day to define a sense of self-worth. And when she went on and said some other things, and then at one point she said, I know that's what you wish, and she indicated Patty Tate, but I cannot take my own life. She said, there's nothing I can do more to pay for this outside of being dead. And I know that's what you wish, but I cannot take my own life. And then she started crying, and they had to give her some tissues to wipe her tears away. Now, if it had been a movie, you kind of almost want Patty Tate to say, oh no, I don't want you to commit suicide. Patty Tate didn't say anything. She couldn't say anything. Later, she was asked about it. She said, I don't care anything about her or any of these people, except that they stay in prison for the rest of their lives. There are limits to forgiveness. Okay? Maybe God can forgive, but human beings are not God. And I don't happen to believe in God. But the fact is, human beings are human beings, and there are limits to our forgiveness. And Mildred Cassup could not forgive the man who brutally murdered her daughter and her grandchildren. And Patty Tate could not forgive any of the people who helped murder her sister and her sister's friends and her own friends. And we can't demand that type of forgiveness from those who are only human.